Welcome. How to tell if a married man is using you. The 16 red flags. In our story corner today, a man came through my lane at the grocery store with a jug of wine and a banquet of roses. But before paying, he set the two items aside and said, "I'll be right back," and he ran off and returned a minute later with a second jar of wine and another banquet of roses. "Two girlfriend?" I asked. "No," he said, "just one really angry one." Welcome. In today's video, we'll be looking at how to tell if a married man is using you, the 16 red flags. This is going to answer the question, what are the signs that a married man you're dating might actually be taking advantage of? And watch to the end for a complete guide to the signs that a married man is using you and abusing your trust in him, plus tips on how to deal with it. Dating a married man can feel exciting and intense, but how can you tell when he's serious and when he's just using you? Luckily, there are several telltale signs and you can look for to determine whether your those feelings are true or not. My name is Stephen Biko, and in this channel I provide wisdom applicable to any area of your life. Whether you watch this channel for advice in your love life, or whether you're here because you like the ways of thinking in general that you get from this channel, you're going to be able to apply this to anything you want to achieve this year. Remember, no matter how much you care about him, it's important to take care of yourself too. Keep watching for a complete guide to the signs that a married man is using you and abusing your trust in him, plus tips on how to deal with it. If a married man is using you, he might avoid opening up and connecting emotionally with you, instead only taking you on when he wants to be intimate. He might resist your contact with you, only allowing you to reach out during certain hours or avoid going on dates with you. If he's using you, he might try to lead you or manipulate you to keep on you interested while avoiding any actual commitments of the relationship. Number 1, the relationship revolves around his schedule. So image title signs married man is using you. It's a red flag if you work around his plans, but he won't do the same. When married guys uses you, it's all about him, what he needs and when he wants to see you. You might notice that he insists you need to accommodate his busy schedule, but doesn't really care about yours. He might ask you to cancel your prior commitments for him, but completely unwilling to show up when you actually need him. Of course, he'll have work and obligation like anyone else. But main problem is lack of balance. If you're always at his back and call, he's never doing the same. That implies he might be using you. You deserve to have a partner who works with you. He won't meet you halfway. If he might be time to start setting boundaries, like refusing to cancel your prior plans just because he wants to. He won't introduce you to his friends and family. He might be hesitant or to commit if he won't make your relationship public. When a man is using you, he'll try to hide your connection because he doesn't want it to change other parts of his life. He'll avoid introducing you to anybody, even his closest friends, and he likely won't post pictures of you in his social media. If you feel like dirty little secret instead of a partner, he's likely using you. You can have an honest relationship with a married man if he's separated from his spouse with plans of divorce and be with you, but even when his spouse should know about you. If his spouse and friends and family don't know you exist, consider asking him about his reasons and telling him what you want, whether that's meeting them yourself or simply having him to tell them about you. You can only contact him on specific times. Restricted contact might mean he's hiding your relationship from others. Does the married man yet you're seeing carefully control the times you can get in contact with him? He might tell you that you can only call him between 3 p.m. and 5 p.m. or tell you to message him on a specific app, only available on once, and might be trying to separate his personal life from his relationship with you. If he feels like he's restricting your ability to contact him on the purpose, to consider asking him why, or letting him know that you need to be able to contact your partner any time from the relationship to work. It restricting communication might also mean that he's lying about his relationship status, either you are his current spouse or both. If he's only communicating during certain times, he might be juggling multiple different relationships. He won't go on dates with you. If he's using you, he might care more about sex than dating. Do you enjoy romantic outings with your bow, or does he only call you when he wants to hook up? A married man who seems most interested in hooking up and either avoids going on dates or outright refuses to do so is most likely using you. Avoiding dates and romance means that he is probably not looking for a serious relationship right now. Dating can be an important part of many relationships. If you're feeling neglected or upset because he's not going on dates with you, explain why dating is so important and let him know what your expectations are. If he still refuses to go on dates with you, even after you explain why it's important, that's another red flag. It shows that he's entirely focused what he wants, not what you might need. This can also be another sign that he's being dishonest about the relationship status. If he's not willing to be seen with you in public, he might be worried more about other people finding out. He avoids talking about his future. He'll refuse to think ahead if he sees the relationship as a temporary. It can be tough to talk about the future when you are seeing a married man. But if he's serious about leaving his spouse, he should be willing to address it. If he tends to skip the discussion of the future, especially talks about leaving his current spouse, changes the subject all the time, he might not be serious about you. Ideally, if your married man is serious about you, he'll be able to plan how to leave his current spouse and even discuss things that you'll do together months and years down the road. Try bringing up the future if you won't. Don't spring anything huge on him. Just ask him to make plans with you a couple of months ahead and ask where he sees your relationship in a year. If he really does consider your presence in his life, temporarily, it's up to you to decide if it's okay or if you want to take initiative to leave the relationship behind and look forward to get your own. He doesn't open up to you. He might not want his life if he always keeps you in arm's length. Emotional connections are important for a serious relationship. So, if he's serious about you, he'll open up to you. This means letting you be part of his life and telling you about his inner thoughts and feelings that he might not share with other people. So, if he doesn't share any of the intimate details involved in his life, he might be using you. Consider what you need in a relationship. If an emotional connection is important to you, you deserve to find a relationship that can give it to you. If dating an available man is a pattern in your life, you may also want to ask yourself why you tend to choose them as partners. Talking to a therapist could also help you to understand the inner workings of your love life a bit better. He doesn't make an effort. He's likely using you if he seems uninterested in growing the relationship. Do you feel like you're only one making an effort to reach out and to get in touch with the man? Does he text you when he needs something and ignore when he doesn't? When a married man is using someone, he likely won't go out of his ways to maintain the relationship because it's just a convenient diversion for him, not truly important. Consider talking to him if you notice that you're putting most of the effort into the relationship. Let him know that for this to work, you need to feel that he's invested in you as well. On the other hand, if he refuses to put the same effort in the relationship as you, it may be time to break things off and eventually see someone new. A married man is using you if he tries to buy your silence. He might be using gifts to distract you from problems. In the relationship, think about any time that you try to discuss the future or you desire to take the relationship to the next level. Does he suddenly shower you with gifts or romance? He's taking you on a trip. The behavior may indicate that he's trying to bribe you into complacency because he's using you and isn't really serious about the relationship. If you eventually realize that the married man that you're dating is using you, it may be tempting to blame yourself for failing to see this sooner. However, Try to forgive yourself instead. It's easy to blame yourself for not catching the warning signs, but it's much healthier to let go of the guilt that you couldn't have known what will do, and punishing yourself won't fix anything. If he doesn't listen to you, ignoring you is a sign that he isn't curious about your life. When a guy is serious and not just using you, he'll want to know all about you. If you're dating a married man who just shrugs off whatever you say and doesn't really show signs of listening to you, on the other hand, it might mean that he's not interested in the relationship and is just using you. So, signs of an active listening include frequent eye contact and genuine reaction to the things that you say, like go on or what happened next. Can also tell that someone was listening when they remember the things that you tell them. So pay attention to your man's reaction when you talk. Does he seem interested? Is he meeting your eyes, fully facing you, or obviously following along as you talk? If not, he might not be listening to you at all. When a married man is using you, he cancels on you at the last minute. Canceling on you could be a sign that you are an afterthought to him. If he's just trying to string you along, it isn't actually serious, then just about anything can distract him and cause him to cancel plans. Life happens, but when the guy is using you, it might seem like anything from work to other friends to doing chores, or enough to get him to drop you without so much as an apology. Consider talking to him about the problem and explain that you need to be able to count on him to show up when you make plans together. However, if he continues to be flaky, you don't need to wait around for him. Live your own life, spend more time with friends and family, and less with him to build up your sense of independence.